Hey everyone, Rob Gagne here. Welcome to another episode of Unboxed Live. I am your host, and today I have a very special guest, Maya Selva. We are particularly looking at a package that she has of the, and I'm going to butcher the name, Villa Zamorano. She will pronounce it way better than I can. But this is a can, and I have a whole unboxing of this that I'm going to drop later today. So really what I want to do is focus on in the description of this video, there's a whole list of all the different vitolas that come in here, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the price point of this is $32.50. So that's like $7.50 a stick. Pretty good price. I'm going to do a whole unboxing of this, what I think of it, the packaging. It's unique. It's a can with a pop top. But really what I want to do is I want to talk to Maya, because she's been doing this for over 25 years, you guys. 25 years making cigars. She started with the first release in 95, but well before that, she was cutting her teeth in learning how to blend tobacco, how to, grow it, do the whole thing, all at the Plasencia factory, one of the best factories in the world. The other big thing that I see here in reading her highlight, if you guys go to her website, which is in the description, she has so much detail of the story. So I'm just going to highlight it real quick. The way it seems to me is 1995, a few years before that so 95 is when she released her first cigar. A few years before that, she's on the quest. She's getting turned down a lot by people telling her that she can't do it. When she finally does release it, 5 retailers in France put a box on the shelf, which is a hard thing to ask, right? European country, predominantly Cuban tobacco, predominantly not going to take the risk on a all Honduran tobacco cigar. But they do. Within less than a week, some of those retailers are already calling back, hey, I've already sold through those. I need more. That's a great thing to have. And then it just kind of like ripple effects from there. It goes from those retailers to a few more, and then all of a sudden Germany, Italy, everyone else is hitting it. Yes. Johnny, you were looking forward to this. Great. And we're going to get into some of the other blends that she has. You guys, there's so much here. Maya also, the cigar culture in Honduras is huge. She's backstage right now, and I've been talking to her, and I just asked her, I said, how many people do you think are employed by the tobacco, premium tobacco culture and growing and rolling and everything? And the actual number is, just in Danlí and some of the rural areas, it's over 14,000 people. And then you take that and you multiply that by 5, because then you have to think about export, transportation, packaging. All those people are affected by the fact that these 14,000 people are going to make a cigar. So now we're at 70,000 people would be totally affected if somebody tried to shut down premium cigars and not allow them to be sold anymore. That's a huge effect. Just very interesting. So the Honduran government recognized the fact that cigars coming out of Honduras are a cultural heritage of the country. Those companies really matter to building and recognizing Honduras's culture across the globe. So I think that's probably one of the coolest, highlights that I've seen. You could say, oh, it's an award. It's not really an award. To me, it's a very pointed reflection of what this industry does. And Maya turned her focus to that from day one. She wanted to bring cigars that were single origin, all from Honduras, make them into a cigar, and let the world experience them. Now, she's gone on and done Nicaraguan cigars. She's gone on and blended some. The one that we are particularly smoking today, the Villa Zamorano Reserva, is all Honduran. So without further ado, let's bring in Maya and get this conversation going. Maya, thank you so much.
Thank you. You have done your homework. You really know the story.
when you've got 25 years of experience, if I don't know your story by now, shame on me. I mean, there is copious amounts of information and editorials and Cigar Journal and Halfwheel, and your website alone does a really good job of telling that story. So I didn't want to bog it down because I don't want to talk about necessarily those aspects that are already out there. I want to get into the meat of this. And so when I looked at your story and I thought, starting a cigar brand is in and of itself very difficult. And you've been told by multiple people that you probably couldn't do it because it's too demanding. And I feel like the you in that statement is because you're a female in the cigar industry. And so what was the hardest drawback of being a woman trying to start a cigar business?
I put it on others. I didn't feel like a girl in a man's world. That was not my point. So maybe it was their issue, but it was not my issue. You know?
It's definitely their issue. It's not
you
yours.
Know, it was like, I'm here because I have this project, and I wanted to do it this way, Are you going to help me? If they said no because I was a girl, it's their problem. It was not my problem.
Right.
I was not addressing them as a woman, as a man, I was addressing them as somebody that wants to learn, that has a very clear concept of what she wants to offer, of what she wants to come with. So I wish one day, a journalist is going to ask them what they thought,
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I didn't focus on that. I was not like, can I do this? I'm a girl.
No.
Too bad, it was not my...
I love that.
It was not my point,
And don't confuse my question. My question is not to confuse that aspect of you being a woman in the cigar business. My question was more to say, what was the hard part of getting them over that? Because now you're having to deal with their prejudiceness of you being a woman. So you can either go and hit that head on, or you can circumvent it. I wanted to know more what you did.
I circumvented. I didn't even pay attention to it, I could feel it. I could, at night, just like, Arr! But the next day I would have a big smile and say, could you tell me more about, the raw material available here in Honduras? And where is it done? Oh, that farm. Can we go?
I love it.
It was not my point.
You're not going to hover on it. You're just going to keep going.
Of course I did feel it. But, and then, in the dynamic, there were other issues that came that were much more important. When I look at for wrapper, there wasn't any wrapper grown in Honduras that is the one I wanted. So the first cigars that came to the market were not 100% Honduran because it was not available.
Right. That was your quest, was to do all Honduran tobacco.
Exactly. So it took me time to get to the quest, but everything was guided by that target, I would say, that idea. So the other issues came up, on the way. But for me, the big issues were more that how to get a Honduran wrapper that could put the face, the name of the brand on it, how to get things like that, that was the mainly for me the big issues I had, and then convincing people, convincing, this make a cigar is not one person, it's always a teamwork, always,
right.
So then, you go through and people choose you, and you choose people, and you start being a team.
I want to go back to trying to find basically a grower that was growing a wrapper that you could actually find. Now, did you discover that they weren't growing wrapper because it was either too expensive, or was it just the soil couldn't handle growing that delicate leaf?
The priority, in the 90s, the priority of everything that was the tobacco, the agricultural part, was mainly to find filler, you know, really the filler, the under wrapper, but 90% of the wrapper was coming from outside.
And why
You know,
was that? Just because of the
because of
stigma?
offer and demand. You know, everything is offer and demand. And the story of the cigar industry in Honduras, there's a huge tradition of rolling tobacco leaf in Honduras. It's like 1500 years old.
Right.
That's not an issue, you know. But to put it as an economy fulfilling a demand was done mainly by foreigners, starting in the 70s, you know. So it was foreigners who came here to solve the demand they already had. They don't really care about Honduran tobacco. They were fulfilling a demand,
And that was to provide filler
and
because
that was to provide filler. And so the mainly all the wrappers were coming from abroad. They were imported. They were
right.
not from here.
So your quest to say, "Hey, I want everything made from here," there was no demand for that. So to the true challenge, like you said, was how can I get that?
Exactly.
That's a
And for
hard
that, you know,
road.
my demand is very small. You know,
Yeah,
you are starting. You know?
right. So how did you overcome that? Who answered and said, "Yeah, I got some wrapper that I made in Honduras, or I
Yeah,
will."
slowly with time, I will always remember, you know. So the project starts in 1992, 93, and I'm a working girl, you know. I'm not 100% here, so I need to find on holidays to come and to keep on going with my project. And so in 1997, there's one of the big players of the tobacco market, of cigar market, that there's a legislation issue, you know, to say that the um, the wrapper, um, re, not natural wrapper, the paper wrapper they put on some cigars,
Yep.
that will be forbidden by legislation. So he needs natural wrapper. And
Yeah.
he comes to Honduras to see if it's possible to make some natural wrapper. And like
Ah,
I'm like, bingo, you know, there's
yes.
a big player that is asking for wrapper, so you can really make the all the agricultural process, you know, all the investment, you know, saying okay, so this field will be for wrapper, you know, and what did I need that 0.03%?
Yeah.
They don't even will notice it, you know.
Right. Just this just fell off the truck. That's all I need.
Yeah.
We're good.
Oh, exactly.
Great.
And so that's how it started. And then you keep on, you know, you keep on growing, and you keep on and be able to ask for a container of wrapper, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. We're getting a lot of questions about the can, so I'm going to
Ah,
jump to that. But before
aha.
I do want to
Let
talk about what's in it, but what can we answer? What questions do we have about the can? Why, like, I think one was just like a generic question from Andrew, canned cigars question mark. What was the thought process behind this? Because I'll tell you from Boveda's perspective, because Boveda's in here, got a nice label here that's protected by Boveda. Aluminum makes a great moisture barrier seal. So this is a great humidor. But I'll let you answer the question of why the can.
you know, I was with my team, and when you go on weekends, so you have your leather humidor, and you have all this, and I travel a lot. You know, even I need to have everything very light, and you end up carrying 20 pounds, 30 pounds. You know,
Yes.
the computer, this, that, and the humidor for your cigars, and I was like, gosh, you know, it's just for a weekend, okay? It's
Yeah.
just the cellophane does protect, but it's not enough.
Right.
So, and in a box of 25, it's a box of 25. You know,
Right.
so we keep on thinking and we wanted something fun, something fun, something fun. And then when you do a barbecue, you always have the cans. for the beer, and
No,
it's
oh.
easy to take.
Soda pop. Yeah. Soda pop.
So we started the project. We say, you know what? Instead of beer, we're gonna put cigars. And
Now you're
you
talking. I don't drink, so I'd rather have
you
this
know,
can in front of me every
you
day.
know? So it's in pack, and you have 6 cans, in one pack, and so it makes it so easy. And it's really the size, of the cars. The cars have this holder, this
Yes.
cigar holder, so you can put it there, and
My
it can be your
backpack.
ashtray.
My backpack has this on the outside, and I just slid it right in there today on the way to the
It's
office,
this-
and I was like, I get it now. I get
It's a
it.
standard size.
Yeah. It's easy.
It's a standard size,
And the lid stays on really well. Like this is not like a,
Yeah. No.
it's a great seal. It's not some, gimmicky, like, oh, check this out. No,
You can keep it
yeah. And I would
and
actually,
refill.
yes, exactly. I was just going to say, I might actually keep this for out on my boat because it's like, it's perfect because I usually take the Boveda humidor bag, but then I'm worried. I'm like, oh, don't put that in the bag with my wife's stuff, and she's gonna throw something on it, or I'm gonna mistakenly put this in my bag and then throw my keys in there and just I like this. I love it.
Yeah. So it was really, really for fulfilling our own needs, I would say. You go on the boat, you have a can holder.
Yes.
It's
Exactly.
oh, there's a guy that enjoy Villa Zamorano daily. Good taste. Wow.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
And that's the price point, right? It's less than $8 a cigar. It's $7.50 or less, depending upon where you buy it. I mean, this can says it retails for $32.50. I've seen it on certain websites for $28.
That's the beautiful story about Villa Zamorano. So I'm in the cigar business, and there's a guy in charge of the raw material, that started sharing his experience and his knowledge with me. He was very tough at the beginning. He said, "Oh, you want to learn? So be here at 5:00." I was living, 170 miles away.
Whoa.
No,
that's an early morning.
No, how is it? 96? No, 50 miles away. Sorry. But roads here in Honduras, 50 miles is an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, I was just going to
So
say, those
being
roads
there
aren't...
at 5 in the morning, I needed to wake up at 3 in the morning and leave at 3:30.
Yeah.
And if you were not sharp on time, he will not address to you, So he gave me a hard time. But then we really did get along. And 3 years later, we were working together. He retired. And I said, well, but, then it became a friendship. We need to keep on doing something together. And we came up with the idea of rolling good tobacco. Very simple. 4 sizes, but good tobacco. And give it to a very affordable price. When we started, Villa Zamorano will have the cost on market will be $2 the stick. So $2 the stick, for a Robusto was like, wow, this is a gang. And it was a success because people did not get confused. There was no ring. There was nothing. Just 100% tobacco leaf rolled. The success was so big that distributors starting, saying, we want a ring, we want a brand, we want a ring. I say, okay, we'll put a ring.
And that's the band you're talking about.
Yeah.
It went unbanded.
We were unbanded. And so, and it was a dedicated, how you call it, factory? Not a factory, a dedicated, in a small place. We were just rolling those cigars. And it's been a beautiful, successful story. So it's its own factory. It's a dedicated factory.
Right. And you started that with the person who really taught you some education on tobacco, right? And rolling.
I'm his pupil.
Protege. Yes.
Yeah.
Pupil.
Now he's the one that really gave me all the hints, to to
And
understand.
is he still with you there?
He left us 4 years ago.
Okay.
He's not of this world anymore.
That's what I thought I read. He had ended up passing on. You had two big people that were close to you in starting the factory that ended up passing on.
Yeah, I lost my 2 legs that year.
How
I
hard
couldn't
was
walk.
that? Yeah.
I couldn't walk.
Did it take you some time to recover?
Yeah, it's too long, will say the team.
Yeah. It's good that you paused though to recover, because those are huge relationships that don't go unnoticed. You know, you can't just keep going after a big miss like that.
And it's tobacco can be very technical. You have very objective criteria of what is a good tobacco. But the magic
Yeah.
is not technical. It's
Right.
not objective. It's not a measure. And it's just the energy and the will of the people that are around those tobacco leaves. And that part, how it's something you cannot buy, that you cannot pay for it,
Yep.
It's really the mood of the team. It's the mood of the team. It's like a big kitchen, The chef could be brilliant. But if you don't, if the team is not aware, it doesn't work.
Yeah, that was one of my questions leading up to this. Was you have been quoted saying you cannot get blending from a textbook. You can get ideas and understand principles, but you really can't get there without having the experience with the tobacco.
And the tobacco gives you what you put.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Like,
if you don't pay attention to it, doesn't work.
the child scenario is very common. You know, you have to continue to mentor it essentially, or be present with it, because otherwise it will essentially rot away.
Exactly.
You also said blending is a lot like cooking and you love to cook. So what is your favorite item to cook?
Good question. My favorite item to cook. In the simple ones, a good rice. Yeah.
So do you do, I just did some dirty rice. Do you do day old rice? Because my recipe called to make the rice the day before and let it kind of dry out. And then when I add all the meat and the seasoning and some extra water, it like rehydrated it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you typically do your rice?
No, I do it fresh.
Okay.
You know, I do it for the basic one, you know, then you can get into this.
What kind of seasonings are you putting in your rice though? Or is it just rice?
Usually rice, and I do the seasoning on side. And
Okay.
then, you know, and then
Combine the two?
Yeah.
Do you fold it into the rice and then it gives it that?
No,
the
on
spices?
the table. On the
Just
table.
on the table.
Just on the table.
I'm very surprised to say that your favorite thing to cook is rice, where the only ingredient is rice.
Yeah. Good rice, you know, good rice.
So it's like
coffee.
Yeah.
Good coffee, you don't put sugar.
Okay. Yeah, right. Absolutely. So the
very
origin of the product matters.
It's to always respect the origin of the ingredients. And I like the cook where you find when you can feel the identity of each ingredient. You know?
Right.
It's
So I'm starting to understand it, because now it's for you, the quest is to bring out the best flavor from whatever you're given, not necessarily mixing flavors together to maybe mask something. You're really like, if I have good rice and I cook it well, then it's going to be really good.
and it really plays its role.
Right.
Because each ingredient in the food has its role. You know what's the best way to have a balanced diet?
No.
It's very easy. Each time, you know, 3 times in your meals, you never eat 2 things with the same color. Just play with colors
Really?
and have all the colors in each meal. You will have a very balanced diet. You won't have to worry.
I like that advice. It's good. I'm gonna like think back on that, and I'm gonna look at my meals differently now and go, okay,
You know,
this color, this color, this color. Yeah, good meal. Great.
potatoes and rice is the same color. You shouldn't
Right.
mix them.
Right.
You know, very
Absolutely.
simple. You know,
What would you say? Does your family love a particular dish that you do? Because I know, like,
wow.
there's certain things that I like to make, and then there's certain things that
You
I
know, the
love
point
when-
is that I'm always very creative. So they say, "Oh, Mama, that was just those shrimps or this ribs of sheep, and with the vegetables, and it was just delicious. Can you repeat it?" The point is that each time I just, you know, and I try to make it different.
Yeah.
And so
You're like
so
my wife. There's no recipe going on. She's just going, and then I go, "Oh, this was amazing." She goes, "Yeah, well, you
Well,
may never have it again."
exactly. exactly.
Love
It's
it.
more the and I follow the seasons.
Sure.
I like following the ingredients of the seasons. So it's more like the technique and the way to is cook with what you have, and
Right.
except days of celebration where you really have a menu, and follow the rule, 5 colors.
Yeah.
And
Now,
that is
with this cigar, so if I'm correct, the Villa Zamorano regular, not the reserve, the classic, that is not an all Honduran cigar. That has Nicaraguan filler in it, right?
and an Indonesian wrapper.
Okay, so then for this one, when you're cooking, were you looking to cook all with Honduran tobacco out of the Reserva?
Exactly.
Okay, so that was the
Because
base.
we started with our own farm, so 12 years ago already, and so we wanted to use that tobacco. We were so happy to have our own crop,
Right.
and it was the solution to have a Honduran.
It
And so
smells
from the
great.
crop, we took from the beginning, we tried to have wrapper, we tried to have the binder and the filler. So the whole technique that we applied on that farm was in order to be able to give priority to the wrapper because we knew we could find filler, in an easier way. And so that's how Villa Zamorano started.
Now, the wrapper on this is a Habano wrapper, correct?
Exactly.
And
That's
it
why
says it's, what city is it in from Jamastrán region?
exactly Jamastrán, and the farm Santa Eulalia.
Thank you. That is great. I'm so bad at saying these names. So Santurnalia.
Santa Eulalia.
Yes,
That's a
what you
difficult
said.
word.
It is it's a tongue twister for me. In Jamastrán, am I saying that right?
Yeah. In a village named Zamorano.
So that's how, but what's funny is that this cigar was named previous that. So it was kind of like fate happened where the cigar was already named after where it was made, but that's not the intent.
Exactly.
Amazing.
That was fate surprise,
Right.
When I was signing for the paper, because people, they don't always use the name of the place. And when I was signing the buying of the land,
Yep.
it say Valle de Jamastrán, place name Zamorano. And I was like, gosh, this is really for me. Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
It's just another, hey, check mark. Yep, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing here.
There you
Yep.
go. There
I
you
love
go.
it.
There you go.
So the quest to blend this was predominantly all Honduran tobacco. When you picked up that Habano wrapper, I'm smelling some sweetness. Was there something about this cigar that you were immediately like, okay, this is what I want to draw, what flavor I want to draw out of it, or not?
Yes, we always work, with kind of a goal, a target.
Mm-hmm.
as I told you, Villa Zamorano was a dedicated factory,
Yep.
and to make it good tobacco at a good price, we need to keep our things simple. Very simple. We cannot handle a lot of sophistication there, and the goal is to taste black tobacco, to have that taste of tobacco for cigars,
Okay.
and not go, into more sophisticated aromas. So that's the profile, that we wanted to attend.
When you say black tobacco, what does that mean to you? Because that was a new term that I haven't heard before, like, or a way of describing tobacco.
Gosh, for me, brown tobacco is not black. It's really brown tobacco, the word, tabaco negro in Spanish, black tobacco. It's the taste of the tobacco. It's like the taste of the cacao. It has its own taste. And that is the reference I have, you know. In the Kentucky tobacco has a very specific taste. Virginia tobacco,
Right.
has a specific taste. You can look after that taste, So I was looking after the black tobacco. For me, the black tobacco is very tasty, it's very fulfilling, and the strength, you can play with it. Okay?
Okay.
Is the taste of tobacco. It's not the taste of mint, it's the taste of tobacco. That's,
Sure.
in my mind, that's the reference,
Right.
Flor de Selva is a more sophisticated aroma. Kumpai is more sophisticated. In Kumpai, you really have sometimes sense of cacao, of Flor de Selva. You can have some burnt coffee that comes to your mind that make it tell, you can have some, you say, what, vanilla? You can really have other sensations going on.
Right.
With Villa Zamorano, I want to keep it very simple. I want you to enjoy, the evolution of a certain strain and of the aroma of dark tobacco, black tobacco. It doesn't pretend to be something else.
I love that because I sometimes have to curb that mindset that I have. I'm always trying to pick up flavors that are coming out of a cigar. And so when a cigar is just consistent, I sometimes go, oh, it kind of missed. But that's more me saying that it missed than the cigar, because this cigar is just consistent, is what I've noticed. I've smoked 3 of them already. It's just, like you said, just consistent.
Straightforward. I hope it's not boring. That it evolves.
That's not the point. But if I'm looking for vanilla or
don't pick up a Villa Zamorano.
Right, exactly. That's my whole point, is like, as a consumer, be knowledgeable of what you're picking up and what it's going to deliver. Because you've said it before, the cigar is for the experience. Don't pick up the same cigar every time. I loved that, because people ask me, what's your favorite cigar? I go, I don't know. Ask me tomorrow. It'll be totally different.
And the magic, the magic that you pick up at a cigar, you develop the knowledge, of the different bands, blends available. And then you develop the knowledge of picking up the right cigar for your mood at that time. Villa Zamorano, for me, is like easy music, easy going.
Right.
Sometimes you want some hard rock, or sometimes you're in the mood of more classic, or sometimes you're in the mood of techno,
Yeah.
Okay? So be the same with the cigar.
Right.
And sometimes you're just in the mood of good tobacco, black good tobacco. You don't want to pay that much attention to the cigar. Maybe you're cutting your grass, so you don't want to pay your $20, Okay?
Yeah, because if I'm paying $20 to smoke something while I'm cutting the grass, I might as well pay somebody to cut the grass for $20.
See, and you will be enjoying your $20 cigar.
Sitting over on the patio, just watching them cut the grass.
Exactly. Villa Zamorano for me is the easy going cigar, tasty, It's, you're not having grass. It's
No.
tasty. It's there. It's a cigar. Very simple. Don't come out that, you know, roasted almonds and
Yeah,
blah,
yeah, yeah.
blah, blah. And keep that for Kumpai or Floricella. And you will
Perfect.
know why they're more expensive. And you will notice the difference.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. I
You will
love,
notice.
I haven't smoked the Compai, but the Flor de Silva, love that cigar because of that aromatic, floral, just unique. There's nothing like it that I can say, oh yeah, that tastes like that. No, I look at Flor de Silva and I go, that's specific, very
With
specific cigar.
identity.
Yes, with identity is a great word for it.
So for the cigars in the company, they all have their identity,
Right.
you know? And so Kumpai was to highlight the soul of Nicaragua with this very volcanic identity, you know, of roasted, of strength, of cacao, you know, the tropics, the luxuriance of the tropics. Here in Honduras, you don't have the luxuriance of the tropics. What I
Right.
see is pines, you know?
Yes.
What I see is mountains with pines. I don't see the warmth that you can feel in Nicaragua, the you know the fun, the Caribbean spirit. Here it's more Indian, more sober, more. It's a different thing.
It's mountains. It's almost like for people in the United States, it's like Colorado or out west. And the soil's very sandy and very, in certain areas, very like clay red. It's not that like black, you know, I'm from Minnesota. They come out and they do the tilling of the ground for corn. And it's like the darkest black I've ever seen in my entire life. But that's not what's in Honduras.
Exactly. So I wanted that the cigar had the identity of that soil, you know,
You did a good job.
and
Very good
and
job.
and so and it does. And after 25 years, you know, I know there are some people outside, you know, that really say, "Hey, yes," and they're very loyal and they like that blend. You know,
Right.
the strength is very different. Doesn't mean that we don't
Absolutely.
do strong cigars, but the strength is more subtle. You know,
Right.
the aromas. I travel to back to Honduras when I have a flor de selva. You know,
Yes.
smell.
Yes.
I
Yes.
and that's what I like. And I travel to Nicaragua, to Ometepe, to Granada when I smoke a compay. You know, it's
I love it. I love the single origin idea. I love that you're taking us on a journey. You have also said there are some vitolas that you've made with a professional approach, meaning they're not things that you probably would smoke on a regular basis. And you feel that that is coming from a stance of what your customers are asking for. So I would ask you, is this a cigar that you've approached with, hey, I'm making this for the fans, or is this a cigar that you said, this is in my repertoire?
Villa Zamorano Reserva is in the repertoire. We wanted to use the tobacco from the farm. So we needed, you know, to use that tobacco and to say, hey, look, you know, we were so happy to be able to grow tobacco, you know. But
Right.
then you have some sizes, you know, at 6x60.
Ah, the vitola is what you're saying. I don't smoke 6x60. I neither. To be honest though, there's been a couple of cigars that come out as a 6x60 that I actually enjoy. So I've
I
been pushing my
I
boundaries
hope
of that.
so. I
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah. But
You
you're
know,
right.
you know, my rings are between 48 and 52. You
Sure.
know, and when I'm really at the end of the evening, really like willing to pay attention, I will take a 38, a 42, a very small ring,
Right.
you know, that is more technical, more,
It's very technical to
yeah,
smoke a Lancero. You
you
got to
know,
be on it.
and to really pay attention to it, you
Hmm.
know, and so more personally, more that kind of smoker, you know.
I love it.
When you go bigger than 60, I'm like, I feel a lot of smoke, and I get, you need to sit down and to have that cigar. You know, you cannot be talking. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Real hard to talk with that in your mouth. Whew.
yeah. You know, so
So, well, I love this. This is For those of you out there that may have been like, Maya Selva, I didn't know about this brand, I'm feeling new to it. You're not the only one. In the United States, I would say your brand is starting to come up. I mean, obviously this whole thing got the 2019 Cigar Journal's Best Value Honduran tobacco. So the brand itself in the United States, Maya, is probably just starting to get some traction, correct? Do you feel?
Yes, because the story of the company, I was based in France, so I started in Paris, and then we grow up and we like to do things properly, I would say, so we grow up in Europe. And so now I believe that, the 27 countries in Europe, we're there and we're really there, and that we believe that we are offering good cigars, well done, consistent. You can say you don't like them. I don't like the blend. I don't like that recipe.
Yes, that's totally fine to say.
That is really fine. But you cannot say it's not a technically well done cigar.
Right.
So we did find our smokers, our cigar aficionados in Europe. Then we started in the US. And, it's a small company, So small company, we do things step by step, find an office, have the papers, all the paperwork. And
you got to jump through some hoops. But we're glad you're here now, because now we can, what I'm excited about is the fact that you have these different origins for me to experience. So I can go to Honduras with Flor de Selva. I can go to Nicaragua with Copan. I can go back to Honduras and not break the bank with Villa Zamorano.
Exactly.
I love that. What is the next region? Like some people are going to Costa Rica and doing some things with Costa Rican tobacco. Even in Honduras, there's certain areas that haven't really been experienced. So what's the next thing? Give us a little teaser. Cat's out of the bag.
We'll keep on experience. With tobacco of different parts. The idea is to have 100% wrapper, everything available,
Right.
So there's a beautiful island, that is open up, and that we are working with it. And if we're able to have 100%, it will be the next step,
So our hint is there's an island.
Yeah.
That you're trying to grow 100% from wrapper to filler.
Yes.
Any direction, north, south, east, west of Honduras? Or are you gonna?
Nope.
Okay, there's the hunt, guys. You can try to figure it out for yourself. What island is Maya going to next? I love it. That's the way we're gonna leave this. The hunt is on. If anyone finds it, post your comments. Thank you.
And I offer the first box.
Yes, exactly. There you go. We'll get you the first box out to you from Maya. Maya, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for enjoying a cigar with me this Friday. Sending me this cigar has been a true pleasure to smoke and hear your story. I'm very honored that you spent time with me.
And thank you to Boveda and to you and to the whole team, Thank you for the opportunity of exposure and what you do. Take care of our cigars,
You're welcome.
So get into a good shape.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Cigar aficionados,
We appreciate that. We love being the sidekick that helps people enjoy their passion. It's our thing.
Bravo, huh? Congratulations.
Yes.
Great team.
Thanks, Maya. Everyone else, thank you so much. I'm going to drop the unboxing of this cigar later today. Check it out. I'll throw all my comments in there and all the details that I think make this worthwhile. But again, wanted you to experience Maya Selva because that story is very unique and very inspiring to see these cigars starting to hit the United States market, and we can experience very specific flavors, single origin, just like we like coffee, single origin. I think of it like whiskey, single barrel. That's what Maya's bringing to us. So the pleasure is all ours. Thank you, Maya. Thank you, everyone else. Have a great